Hello, I am Nivan. Today I am going to explain you the experiment number 1, the spectrum of the hydrogen atom. First I will introduce you the experimental setup. The first one, here you can see the voltage supply and the signal processor and the spectrometer and photomultiplier tube. We also called it PMT, and this one is the lamp. Before the experiment, I will turn on the experimental setup. The first, you can turn on the voltage supply. The switch is here. You can see it has turned on, and after that you can turn on the power for the signal processor, and after that you can turn on the power for spectrometer. The switch is on the back side of the spectrometer. Then I am going to start the computer software. In the desktop you can see the software Solix Scan Basic. Double click it. You can see this window. First we have to connect the signal processor. For that, click on the hardware. If you see in here, disconnect data acquisition and disconnect spectrometer A, just disconnect it first. After that, reconnect these two. Connect data acquisition and connect spectrometer A. After that, we are going to set the parameters. For that, you have to click on this icon, plan of system running settings. In here you can see this run parameter settings. First click on the insert, and then we have to select the grid select. Click on here and select the number 1. Then we are going to put the wavelengths, start value and end value. For the mercury lamp, the start value is 430, end value is 640. Then for the interval, you have to select it 0.1. Then average is 1, the runtime is also 1, delay is 0. After that you can save this data. After you set the parameters, then we are going to set up the data collection. For that, you have to first click on the options and then the instrument settings. Here go to the data capture settings. You may see this properties window, and here you can click the additional parameter. Here you have to change the set gain. This value you can change it to the 64. Click here and 64. After that, click on the update, then press OK. After that, I am going to set the lamp to the setup. Always the label of the lamp should be in the top. Here you can see the mercury label. Here you can set it like this. Then you can move on to this lamp setup very close to the slit. Then you can turn on the light. The next step is give the power to the photomultiplier tube. For that, you can press this switch to give the power. Here you have to put this, you have to keep this button for 1 second. You can see when this light on and the voltage is minus 651. this is the value for our experiment. I am going to start the scanning. For that you can click the icon here, start scan. You can see the scanning is start and measurements are taking. Okay, now the scan has finished. You can see it in this window. It shows the scan has completed. If your spectrum appear as the negative values, then you have to do some corrections. For that you can click the post processing, then reverse curve. You can see the curves are now in the positive side. Now I am going to save the files. First click on the options, then chart properties, and here you can see an icon mentioning export. You can click it. Then you have to select the data and choose the Excel file, and you can click the save. And you have to choose the folder for save, the PChem English 2022, and when saving your file you have to write your file name as, for here it's mercury, then dash lamp E, and next is your group number. For me, I put it as 0. If you are group number 1, you have to put it as E1. Then click the save, and then yes. Okay, before you start the scanning for the hydrogen lamp, you have to change these values, the wavelength values. You have to click here, operating parameters, and change the wavelength range according to the hydrogen lamp. Starting is 400 and end is 630. Then press save and make sure to clear the lines. You can click here and clear all curves. After that you can repeat the steps 4, 5, 8, 10, 12 and 13 according to your steps on the handbook. Now I am going to change the mercury lamp to the hydrogen lamp. First you have to turn off the lamp. If the lamp is heat, you can wear a gloves. This is the hydrogen lamp. You can see the label. It should be always on the top. Now we are scanning the hydrogen atom spectrum. Now you can see the scan is completed. You can see in this icon, and here you can also see the peaks signal values are appeared as negative, then we have to do the correction. Okay, after that I am going to save the file. You can name your file as hydrogen lamp and your group number. Here I mention it as 0. After finishing the scanning, you have to disconnect the devices from the computer. For that, click on the hardware, then disconnect data acquisition. Then again disconnect the spectrometer A. After that, you can close the software. After the experiment, now I am going to turn off the experimental setup. First, you can turn off the lamp. Then you can turn off the high voltage from the voltage supply. Make sure it has come to the 0. After that, you can turn off the main power for the voltage supply. Then the power for the signal processor. And finally, you can turn off the spectrometer. After that, we can remove the hydrogen lamp. Please wear the gloves before you touch the hydrogen lamp. Then you can place it here.